Salutations, everyone. It's my least favorite time of the year, winter. Welcome to, is it winter yet? I know it's fall. Well, it's fall, but it's like a winter day, I guess. It's 37 degrees where I am right now. So yeah, fall is not too bad, but winter is approaching. So I think that the first day of winter is December. So, but yeah. I just don't like the cold. That's what it is. That's my least favorite thing. Is the cold. Period. But I mean, it's comfortable right now. It's not windy. It's very steady. But it's 37 degrees nonetheless. So that's why I'm covering my bald head. So yeah. So I just walking. I haven't done one of these on video in a minute, but I'm when I walk and talk with y'all. So. Welcome back to this type of setup. But yeah, so it's not too bad, but but as long as you dress appropriately, you won't feel as much of the coldness. So that's the key. Gotta dress for the weather. All right. So I'm gonna run to the store and grab a few things. So I just wanted to walk and talk with you while I do that. And I also wanted to take this opportunity to send my condolences out to the family and loved ones of Michael Hurd, who has passed away a couple of days ago. They said it was due to asthma attack that led to a heart attack that led to him being in a coma. And so it's just how... I know that we can't control when the Lord calls you home, but it's just how you see how your body can just fail you in different areas, and it could just kind of have a snowball effect in that way. It's just, it's just amazing because, his death was so untimely. Mike and I were, we had a friendship for a couple of years. It started when he and Ty Couture were in a public relationship. May he rest in peace as well. Ty Couture, he was a content creator. He was also a world-renowned hairstylist. He had his own shop in New Jersey, where he was from. And he did, content on different web reality shows, and he did other commentary as well, mainly focusing on his on his mental health and how he managed it at the time. And so he and Mike had a brief relationship, but it was very public. It was very out there, and a lot of us saw it. Though for those who are familiar with them, so Mike Hurd was a life coach. He was a former pastor. He is also known for his adult activity online as well, because he was very open about that, very open about his sescapades. He was very open and honest about, him acquiring more about on the polyamorous lifestyle. So he was really open about that, and his journey from being a minister and going into that lane. He had a couple of shows on YouTube as well. There was one called, I think it was called Conversations with the Kings. I think that was the title of that show. And then he had, a couple of other platforms where he would bring guests on and interview with them. So he was always a great speaker. Very charismatic. Very handsome. I enjoyed the time that we had in Puerto Rico. A few years ago, we did a trip to Puerto Rico. I don't know if that's still on Facebook or not. I have to try to see if I can. I don't know if I still have, because I have a couple of pictures from that time when I was there. And so I just wish that we had the opportunity to mend things because our friendship shifted. There was a time when he didn't wish to maintain well, not so much a friendship, but he wanted to distance himself, and we never really got to mend things because we had a misunderstanding, a miscommunication at one point, and I've always have wanted to reach out to him, and I know that he would have received me wholeheartedly because he wasn't that person to hold a grudge, or he wasn't a person that just would not welcome the conversation between he and I. So I just wish that I, follow my instincts and reached out and extended myself, but because you just never know when God calls you home. You just never know. But I know all I do know is this death is shocking to a lot of us, and I just want to again express my condolences to the family, friends, and loved ones of Michael Willis Hurd. May he rest in peace. All right, just excuse the background noise. I'm in my neighborhood. How that get. So hopefully, I won't get any issue with the music because I'm just passing by it. I can't control that. All right. Okay. Anywho. So So I still love him, and I know he still loved me as nonetheless. So rest in peace to Michael Willis Hurd. Let me see. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you for all of the men and women who risked their lives to fight for our country, made history. Those who served in the armed forces and the military. Thank you so much. So happy Veterans Day. Not much else to say. Still walking. So I just want to also give a shout out once again to TV Tone, who I interviewed with this past Saturday. Please make sure you check it out. It was a great interview. I meant to chop it up, but I just didn't get around to it. But that still shouldn't stop you from enjoying that interview, even if you have to, red ball or whatever. But I really prefer for you to watch the full interview. He's a very, because he's not only a very talented brother, but he's just a very genuine, very cool person. He just seemed like he gives cool vibes. He's just he's a person that gives cool vibes. So shout out to TV Tone for a great interview, and hopefully we'll see him again on my platform. Whenever I might discuss a certain particular topic, or I may have a panel discussion, I might want to bring him on, and you'll see him again. And I want to say, Mom, stop crushing on TV Tone, okay? Because she was asking me after the interview. She kept asking me, is he single? I know he said he has a child on the way, but is he still with the child's mother? I'm like, Mother, why you want to know? Okay, why do you need to know that? Yeah, she has a big crush on TV Tone, because when she saw the flyer for the interview, she was like, I just saw that flyer for TV Tone. He fine. I'm like, oh, you like that? You like that Boricua, huh? Yeah, but shout out to my mom. Oh, that's funny. I understand that you want to get your groove back. There's nothing wrong with enjoying the company of a younger man. Believe me, I know. But that's too young, Mother. That's too much of a gap. That's way too young for you. That's way too young. And knowing her, she'll be like, excuse me. That's her. Excuse me. I'm like, yes, Mom. I know that you're beautiful. You're still vibrant. You still got it going on, but that's too big of a gap. Yeah, Tone is in his 40s. That's too much of a gap for you. but bless your heart. Bless your heart. All right. So anywho, yeah. So please check that out, and also check out the interview that I did this past Wednesday with Pastor Christopher Hosey from Grisham Park Church. That was a good interview as well. Shout out to Pastor Chris. Thank you so much for gracing my platform with your presence and being transparent as well. And so my next guest, tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be interviewing with Roland Rebel. And so I know a lot of you may not be familiar, but a lot of people, especially on social media and the web reality world and everything in between, is familiar with Tony Sykes, aka Roland Rebel, where we're going to get into some things. We're going to get into, first we're going to get into his upbringing, his life journey as a mental health counselor, author. He's also suffers from cerebral palsy, and so he relies on a wheelchair. So we're going to go dive into that and how he navigates through that, and and then we're going to get into some mess, and we'll get into some things, because he's also known, unfortunately, to have had quite a few beefs on many different platforms with many different people. So we're going to get into that as well. So make sure you tune in on tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. where I interview with Roland Rebel, because he promises that it's going to be very candid. Everything is going to be laid out on the table. He's going to clear the air on some things. He's going to tell his side of some of those feuds that he's got into. Tell his side. And so I have no dog in the fights. I'm playing the neutral party in this. Alrighty? So I'm just letting you know right away. Like I said, I'm playing a neutral party in all this. This is his side of things and his perspective on how things went down between him and so many other people. And, I always encourage him as well. We have to sometimes look at ourselves and understand why people may perceive us the way we do, even though we are known to be misunderstood a lot. But that's still, you still have to take account of how you perceive by others. So, we have conversations like that. So we're going to get more into that tomorrow. So just be prepared. It's probably going to be one of my longest lives because there's going to be some stuff being spilled. There's going to be some tea being spilled. So I'm trying to prepare for it. So shout out to Roland Rebel. All right. We always, we hang out every once in a while. He was the one that I went to the Fantasia concert with. He invited me to the Fantasia concert, so that's who I was with. And we tend to we actually just full circle, Roland Rebel and I actually met during Mike Hurd's life coaching class, because I actually took his class. So I'm basically a certified life coach, and I've been one for a few years now. Technically I'm a certified life coach. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that. But I did take Mike Hurd's class, and that's where Tony Sykes, aka Roland Rebel, that's where we met. So, full circle right there. So please make sure you tune in, and again, I want to thank you so much for the ongoing support that I'm getting on my channel. I appreciate it. I've still, like I said before, I still get into the groove of this platform thing, this YouTube space. So it's baby steps, but I'm working diligently on it. And so I appreciate your time and your patience, and I appreciate all the encouragement that I received so far. I do appreciate that. So I just wanted to come and just spend some time with y'all. So I'm about to get a few things. You ain't gotta be around for that. You don't gotta be sitting and watching me pick out stuff like, oh, I wonder what I need here, and oh, should I get this, or should you ain't gotta sit through that. I'm not gonna put you through that. I just wanted to just, like I said, come at you real quickly, and I thank you so much for your time, and until we meet again,